Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NBA action, Celtics at Jazz. We've got a promo code. The code is LOVE for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The Jazz are favored -4 in the advanced lines. 219.5 is looking like the total. Celtics 12-10 on the year, straight up and against the number. Jazz are 19-5 and also 17-6-1 against the spread. One of the more profitable teams to bet on this season, and one of the better complete teams when it comes to defense, when it comes to shooting threes. And then Rudy Gobert down low, contributing to the team's #1 status when it comes to rebounding in the league. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to break this one all down for us. Craig, we've got some notable injuries as well. Jaylen Brown is not expected to play in this one. He may, but it looks like he's going to be questionable. And Celtics still without Marcus Smart. And then Mike Conley is out for the Jazz, but still a lot of good players on the floor and a lot of good storylines to look at. What are you looking at when it comes to these two teams?
Well, two really deep rosters. That's why I think you have to expect this is still going to be a good game, even though Brown and Smart are out for looks like will be out for Boston, and like you said, Mike Conley. They played really well against winning on the road against the Pacers on Super Bowl Sunday. The Jazz. So this Jazz team's just been mowing teams down. I mean, they're the hottest team in basketball the last month, and I don't think that's going to slow down here. So I do like the Jazz -4. I would expect this line to go up once that Brown is confirmed to be out. I expect this line to probably be in the 5s or 6s, and I still would take the Jazz because they're just playing that good. We were talking about this before we film here, and this Jazz team just really doesn't have a weakness. Every other team in the league, I can say, hey, there's one thing that I think this is the chink in their armor. The Jazz were always good on defense the last few years. Now they added great shooting, great ball handling. They're unselfish, and they really put their butts down on defense and really lock it down. And that's what you have to do at the end of these games. So many games in the NBA come right down to the end, and that's been the difference for this Jazz team. They've been great on both sides of the ball. Not saying Boston isn't that as well, but I'd say the one knock on Boston this year has been, it seems like one of their big three has been out in pretty much every game. Kemba Walker started the year out, then Tatum, and now Brown. And then Smart is kind of their 3B, I would say, and he's now out as well. So I think Boston's injuries has really held them back. I think the Jazz take advantage of that tonight, and I'm going to take the Jazz minus the points in this one.
Yeah, it's really hard to go against the Jazz just because of their track record as being really good against the number. And like you said, they're a really complete team. They do it on defense. They do it from the three-point line, and they rebound really, really well. And especially with the Celtics missing Marcus Smart on defense, I know offensively he's been contributing a lot more than he's still one of their best defenders, and that's going to be a big hole for them. And then obviously Jaylen Brown, one of their premier scorers on that squad. I think it's going to be really hard to keep up with this Jazz team. That if they're on fire from three, I don't think anybody can keep up with them. So especially at home, and especially how well they've been doing against the number, it's hard to go against the Jazz. And then looking at an advanced total of 219.5. Any leanings there?
The one worry is lopsided games, and I think this could get to be a lopsided game because the Jazz are just playing and shooting the ball so well. If they get up 20, I would initially lean towards the over, but if they get up early, big, then the Celtics maybe rest, some of their key contributors late, and I think that could hold this down. So to me, I would stay away from the side in that one just because I do think the Jazz are probably going to win pretty easily in this one. And I would say you have to play the over if you're going to play it, but lopsided games have cost me too many times this year on these big totals out there.
Right, and if you're playing props, those are an issue as well. Blowouts kill props when you need somebody to get a certain amount of rebounds or assists. And just a motivation factor. We kind of talked about this before the show. When you have a couple of your key players out, it just seems like there's no rush to put them back in when it comes to the regular season because teams like the Celtics are focused more on the postseason, I believe, than some of these games, during the regular season. So I think they're going to be there and fight hard, but I just don't know if the motivation is completely there for Boston. But I could be wrong, as always. That's going to do it for our NBA talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Craig Trapp, as always. Craig, thanks for joining us.